Hey guys, what's up? Gaming Gear here. So today we have another PC build. This is going to be the part 2 of the PC build for the AMD side. So we're going to be using a ATI graphics card, and we're going to have a few brand differences, so you know it's worthwhile to watch. Because if I just say, okay, here's an AMD processor and a motherboard, a graphics card, and then everything else is the same, it's going to be a boring video. So some of the stuff's the same, the case is the same, and the DVD burner is the same, because there's no difference in that, and it's the cheapest one and it's reliable, but everything else has changed, so stick around. So for the processor, we're going to be using a AMD Phenom 2. This is going to be the X4 B93, so it's going to be a great CPU. I chose to spring, I think it is $10 extra for the quad core, so you definitely have a quad core as opposed to maybe having one. I don't think these unlock to 6 cores, so don't try and get lucky with that and try and buy a different motherboard that allows you to unlock just because you want to see. It probably will not have the ability to unlock to a 6 core. Speaking of a motherboard, we're going to be using the Gigabyte GA970D3. This is going to be a great motherboard. Crossfire X support, so you can add another graphics card in, USB 3.0, all that good stuff. It has PS2 ports, plenty of USB 2, lots of audio, LAN, so good stuff. The RAM is going to be 8 gigs of Kingston HyperX Blue, runs at 1600 megahertz. It's the exact same price as the G-Skill, and Kingston's very reliable, so that's great. For the not the motherboard, sorry. The GPU, we're going to be using the Gigabyte GVR7870C2GD. So it's a Radeon 7870 gigahertz edition. Runs at a gigahertz, obviously. It has 2 gigs of GDDR5 memory running on a 256-bit bus. So nice and wide, not like crazy wide, but with that amount of RAM, you're not going to need a crap ton of it. It's a good card. If you have $50 more, spring for the 7950, because that's going to give you a lot more performance for only $50 more. An extra gig of RAM, wider bus, I think like 500 or something more cores. Let me check real fast, because I know off the top of it. Yeah, it has 500 cores, because that one has like 1700-ish, and this one has 1280. So, great stuff. The power supply is going to be the Cooler Master Extreme Power Plus. Is going to be a 550 watt power supply. It's got all the power supply that's necessary to run that graphics card. Let me check. It might actually have enough to run 2, but I'm not totally sure. Yeah, it doesn't have enough to run it, but if you run like like 2 7770s or something that only needs a single 6-pin or a single 8-pin, you'll be just fine, because it has 2 8-pins. It's got plenty of power for a bunch of SATA stuff, so that's great. We're going to be using Cooler Master Elite 311. Great case, nice side window. It's from Cooler Master. It looks very nice. So the Western Digital Caviar Blue is going to be our hard drive. It's a terabyte hard drive, runs at 7,200 RPM, has 64 megs of cache, so it's going to be nice and fast. This one's going to be $100, so if Western Digital is nice and reliable, but if you want to save a couple bucks, more specifically 10, you can buy a Seagate of the exact same price for $10 less, which would be $89. This is $100. And then, of course, Samsung DVD burner and Windows 7 Home Premium. So the differences between, I'm going to sum up the differences mainly in this, between the AMD build and the Intel build, and which part would be better in which part. So first off, processor to processor, the AMD processor would be basically the same in moderate multitasking as the Intel one. The Intel one probably would be better in like video editing and stuff like that, although neither is going to be blazing fast. But the Intel one doesn't have the ability to overclock, though, so that's another thing. The Intel motherboard itself is a little bit more costly, only about like $5, but it has a lot more features like the SSD caching, quick sync, stuff like that. The RAM is basically the same on both of them. Graphics card. This is where it gets big. The AMD build has a graphics card that's going to be more upgradable, like in the future, if you're just talking about availability, because there's going to be probably 7870s in two years or a year and a half. There's not going to be 480s in a year and a half. So, just to put that into perspective. Power supplies are basically the same. The Corsair one's got a little bit more wattage, so, but it is, how much more expensive is it? It's $10 more expensive, so if you want really stable power and stuff like that, and you want 80 plus bronze as opposed to just plain 80 plus, go for the Corsair one, because it's not that much more. Hard drives are basically the same specs wise. Seagate is $10 cheaper, and then of course the operating system and all that's going to be cheaper. In the end, though, the Intel build is $25 more. But when you're talking about that in the long run, I would rather spend $25 and get a way more stable CPU and processor and forward-thinking kind of build, and then pick up a couple cheap games on Steam. Because this is my opinion on packing games too. Some people will say like, oh, this graphics card performs better, but this one has like 5 games that comes with it. In 3.5, 4 years, when you're going to want to upgrade, is it going to matter if you got 5 free games, or is it going to matter that you bought the superior graphics card? So, just putting that in perspective. Thanks for watching this video. Overall, I'd have to declare Intel winner, just overall, and NVIDIA. But the 480s might run out soon. If they do, another good, capable $210 graphics card would definitely be the 7850. That's a great card, outperforms the 550 Ti. It's quieter, consumes less power. So that's going to do it for this build video. Thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And have a nice day.